Hey, fellow Americans. Here's breaking news that everyone needs to hear. Donald Trump has just made a stunning announcement regarding a potential $5,000 stimulus check plan that could put thousands of dollars directly into your pocket. Is this really happening? Are these checks actually coming? And most importantly, when could they arrive in your bank account? Today we're diving deep into what many are calling the boldest economic move of Trump's new administration. If you want to stay informed about all the latest updates on potential stimulus payments, tax changes, and economic policies that could impact your wallet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss any crucial information that might soon put money in your pocket. Now, let's get into the details of this breaking story that's taking the internet by storm. Social media is absolutely exploding with talk about Trump's alleged $5,000 stimulus check plan. However, before we go any further, let's be completely clear. At this time, no official White House announcement has confirmed a $5,000 stimulus check program. What we're seeing are rumors, speculation, and wide-ranging discussions around economic policies that the Trump administration might be considering as part of broader economic initiatives. This story is gaining enormous traction because it comes at a time when many Americans continue to feel significant economic pressure despite some improvements in certain economic indicators. The appeal of direct payments is undeniable. After all, who wouldn't want an extra $5,000 during these challenging times? It is precisely for this reason that it is so critical to separate fact from fiction and to examine what has really been said versus what is being claimed on viral social media posts. Let's discuss what we actually know about Trump's economic priorities. Since taking office in January 2025, the administration has placed heavy emphasis on tax cuts, deregulation, and boosting American manufacturing. While there have been discussions about various forms of economic stimulus, the specific idea of a $5,000 direct payment to Americans represents a notable departure from traditional Republican economic policies. Throughout his campaign, Trump focused primarily on fostering job creation through business tax incentives rather than on direct government payments to individuals. So, where did the rumor of a $5,000 stimulus check originate? Some trace it back to discussions regarding economic policy options reportedly considered during transition planning. Others point to misinterpretations of statements about tax relief that have morphed into claims about direct payments. Social media, operating much like a high-speed telephone game, has transformed these nuanced policy discussions into boldly stated, easily shareable claims about imminent $5,000 payments. Moreover, if such a program were implemented, a direct payment of $5,000 to millions of Americans would represent an astronomical level of government spending in the trillions of dollars. Critical questions arise. How would such a program be funded? And would it be targeted based on income thresholds similar to previous stimulus payments or structured in a more universally accessible manner? These essential questions remain unanswered because, once again, no official proposal exists at this time. Examining the historical context, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we witnessed bipartisan support for stimulus checks, with Americans receiving payments of $1,200, $600, and $1,400 through various relief packages. These measures were emergency responses during an unprecedented crisis. In contrast, the current economic situation prompts a fresh debate. Does it warrant similar emergency actions now, especially given the lingering challenges in the housing market and the recent cumulative effects of price increases on household budgets? Economists remain divided, with some cautioning that injecting billions, even trillions, of dollars directly into the economy might exacerbate inflation, while others argue that such measures could provide the immediate relief many desperately need. It is also important to reflect on what Trump has actually said about economic relief since taking office. He has frequently emphasized his goal of creating the greatest economy ever through tax cuts, deregulation, and renegotiated trade deals. Even though he has expressed concern about the financial struggles facing everyday Americans, his proposed solutions have generally focused on job creation and wage growth rather than on handing out direct payments. Critics argue that tax cuts often benefit the wealthy and large corporations, whereas supporters believe these policies drive overall economic growth by creating more employment opportunities and increasing wages for the general public. This fundamental difference in economic philosophy fuels much of the debate surrounding stimulus payments and other economic policies. Could a stimulus program be silently in development behind the scenes? It is certainly possible that economic advisors are currently evaluating various options for additional economic stimulus, potentially even considering direct payments to Americans. However, any such program would require congressional approval, and so far there has been no indication from Republican leadership in either the House or Senate that such legislation is being drafted or seriously considered. Now, what about the timeline that is floating around? Viral posts on social media claim that these checks might arrive as early as next month or by the summer. Yet, without an actual program in place, these claims have no factual basis. Historical precedent shows that even previous stimulus programs required months to implement after legislation was passed. Logistical challenges such as verifying eligibility, processing payments, and distributing funds to millions of Americans meant that the entire process was both complex and time-consuming. Despite the lack of official confirmation, this story continues to gain traction because it taps into the genuine economic anxiety that many Americans currently feel. With housing costs remaining high in many regions and even moderate inflation placing a long-term strain on household budgets, the idea of receiving an immediate $5,000 windfall is particularly appealing. This entire phenomenon also highlights the power of social media to rapidly spread both information and misinformation regarding issues that directly affect people's financial well-being. In an era where a single tweet or TikTok video can reach millions, rumors about financial relief can quickly take on a life of their own, detached entirely from official policy discussions or the existing economic reality. For a $5,000 stimulus check to become a reality, several steps would need to occur. First, the administration would need to formally propose such a program. Next, Congress would have to draft and debate appropriate legislation, pass it through both chambers, reconcile any differences between the House and Senate versions, and ultimately send it to the President for his signature. This entire legislative process typically takes several months, even under circumstances of broad political support. What does this mean for you right now? While it is natural to feel hopeful about the possibility of financial relief, it is crucial that you make financial decisions based on confirmed information rather than on mere rumors or speculation. Most financial planners consistently advise against altering spending or investment plans based solely on the anticipation of government payments until those measures have been officially approved and you have received confirmation of your eligibility. To stay truly informed about any legitimate developments related to potential economic relief programs, it is best to follow official communications from the White House, Treasury Department, and established news organizations. Additionally, keeping an eye on congressional websites for updates on legislative activities can help ensure that you are basing your financial decisions on the most reliable and up-to-date information. While we have focused on separating fact from fiction regarding this specific $5,000 stimulus check claim, it is equally important to consider the broader range of economic policies being pursued by the administration. For instance, forthcoming tax policy changes may have a direct impact on your take-home pay, while regulations affecting various industries could influence job markets and consumer prices. Similarly, adjustments in trade policies might affect the cost and availability of goods and services. Although such complex economic impacts may not capture as much attention as the dramatic claims of direct payments, they are likely to have more significant and lasting effects on your overall financial situation. As you evaluate claims about stimulus programs or other economic policies, ask yourself several critical questions. What is the source of the information? Is it supported by multiple reliable outlets? Do these claims align with the stated policy priorities and the practical realities of the current political climate? And, importantly, do the numbers add up when considering the required funding mechanisms and the logistical challenges of such major government spending programs? In conclusion, based on all the available information, there is no evidence of an imminent $5,000 stimulus check program from the Trump administration. What exists at present are simply rumors and speculative discussions that have been amplified through social media. thereby creating the impression of an impending payment program that has not been officially announced or confirmed. Of course, economic policies can change rapidly in response to evolving conditions and shifting political calculations. If any official announcements are made regarding direct payments or other forms of economic relief, expect thorough coverage and analysis to help you understand what these programs mean for your personal finances and the broader economy. Remember that understanding economic policy requires looking beyond sensational headlines or viral social media claims. It involves examining the complex realities of how government decisions ultimately affect the economy and your day-to-day finances. By staying informed through reliable sources and maintaining a healthy skepticism toward dramatic claims, you will be better positioned to make sound financial decisions regardless of what new policies or programs are eventually implemented. Thank you for joining us for this important fact check and analysis. If you found this information valuable, please hit that like button and share this message with friends or family who might also be wondering about these rumors. Don't forget to subscribe for more fact-based coverage of economic policies that directly affect your wallet. In these uncertain times, keeping yourself informed is one of the best strategies to secure your financial future and navigate the challenges ahead.